Hello everyone, welcome to another movie review. My ring light fucking broke already, so that's fun. No side lighting, that's great. Great video this is gonna be. Today I reviewed Cube and I reviewed Nothing. So I guess I may as well, and I reviewed the ABCs of Death 2, all of which were either partially or completely directed by Vincenzo Natali. So I figured why not just go through his filmography. He made two films I really love, and his segment in the ABCs of Death was like the best one. So I noticed he had a Netflix film called In the Tall Grass, which is apparently a Stephen King adaptation about some people who get lost in a grass field. And I watched it, and it kind of sucked until it was kind of okay, and it was kind of good, and then it kind of was okay. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this movie. Let's get started. So a brother and sister hear a little boy crying for help in this tall grass, and they decide to venture in. And now we get to the problem with the movie. Like 9 minutes in. The thing about the movie is it takes its time. It is deliberate and slow, which is fine. But the problem is, for like a good, the first half of the movie, fucking nothing happens. Like literally nothing happens. Okay, well, not literally nothing. The characters wander around this grass. They meet some other people who are trapped in this grass. I like some of the filmmaking here. I like how they demonstrate that the grass is moving them around.
All right.
So the sister is pregnant, and the father of the child comes to find where the sister is gone, because he's like,
Just left 2 days ago. No, it was longer than that. It was more like 2 months. Now that really doesn't make any sense.
we are learning things, I guess. Like, we're learning, for example, that like time is moving weirdly. It's like trying to do what Cube did, where they figure out some things about the cube, and it feels like you're just a little step closer and a little step closer to escaping this threat. But here, it never feels like they're getting closer. It just feels like they're kind of understanding the madness more. Like, it doesn't feel like they're getting any closer. I think part of that is because Cube, it's clearly like man-made. It's like a structure. Whereas here, it's some grass. So it just comes off as supernatural. So it doesn't feel as tangible. It doesn't feel like we're working towards solving a puzzle. It just feels like the puzzle is whatever, and you're getting closer. A dog dies, of course it does. And it's like, throughout all this time, nothing happens. The problem is so much of this is just them wandering through the grass, and you don't feel like they're getting anywhere. It doesn't feel like it's progressing at all. It's just them wandering through the grass. At minute 10, they're wandering through the grass and they don't know really how anything works, and they're kind of scared. 50 minutes in, they're wandering through the grass, they're kind of scared, they don't really know what's going on, and it's like, can we get to the point already?
The sad part is, it does work for a while. Because for a while, I'm giving the movie a fair shake. And I'm just like, okay, I'm with these characters trying to figure out this situation. I'm like, okay, it's a little slow, but I can sit through a slow thing. The real problem is that it doesn't go anywhere. It takes too long to go anywhere. And by the time it starts to go places, it's like I've used up my trying to like the movie points already, if that makes sense.
The kid buries a bird, and he's like,
the field doesn't move dead things around.
Like, you're learning little tidbits like that, which is a cool bit of world building, but it's just little crumbs like that, and that would be really cool if something was happening. Like, that would be like an extra thing, because there's stuff like that in like Cube. I keep comparing it to Cube because it's kind of a similar premise, and I feel like Vincenzo was just hired because the people at Netflix were like, oh, we need a movie where people are in the grass. Let's get the guy who did a movie where people were trapped in a cube. You would get little tidbits of world building, but it was always like that was the bonus to them trying to figure out how to get out of this maze. Also, there was a thematic element in that movie of like nihilism, I guess like agnosticism, like don't, like the whole, I think the tagline was like, don't try and figure out why you're here, just figure out how to get out. I think that was the tagline. Something like that was the tagline on the poster. So you had those thematic elements too, and here it's really lacking. And again, I have no problem with the filmmaking. Like, it's impressive that a whole movie got made in some fucking grass. You know, I do think that's impressive, but the story is lacking. And then at about 55 minutes in, about halfway through the movie, it suddenly gets good. So basically the dad character, not I probably should have used their actual names, but not the father of the unborn child, the father in the family that got stuck in this grass. So that dad, he touches this strange rock, but now he doesn't want to escape.
Is there a map on it or something?
Just put your hand on it, and you'll know.
What's that supposed to mean?
It's very Stephen King, and it's a bit silly, but I actually like it, because now there's a bit of like tension. Now there's actually a bit of tension as to whether or not, you know, is the dad going to find them? What is he going to do? Is he going to kill them? Part of the problem with the first half is that there's no real tension. There's like a tension of, will they die of dehydration? In cinematic terms, that's kind of abstract. Like, it's not an immediate threat, and that's hard to translate cinematically. And a problem with the first half is that the characters, they're not like bad, but the dialogue's is not the best, and the acting's a bit ropey.
Wait!
What?
I think I see something. It's a building, I think.
So you saw our car at the church, and you didn't call anybody? No, Cal, I didn't.
So it's like, I don't really care about these characters. Like, they just kind of seem like stock characters. And it's like, that would be fine. But when the first half of the movie is entirely just characters talking about the situation they're in, it doesn't work when I don't really care about these characters. And this part's a little fun because it becomes more of a conventional horror thing. I kind of hesitated reviewing this right after Last Shift because it has this movie kind of has a similar problem where it's like it reveals things that it doesn't need to reveal at all. There's this one scene where the dad, Ross, I'll use his actual name, is killing this guy.
You're thinking, if you just turn left instead of right, you could have gotten away from me. But you did go left, and you turned right. But here, in the garden of forking paths, you didn't make any one choice. You made every choice. And they all led back to me.
See, this scene is really well done, but like once you actually start thinking about like what is the scene's purpose in the grander scheme of things, it's like what? Why is this here? Like, it's unnecessary.
And it reminded me of Cube 2, which you never want to fucking do as a movie. There is some neat filmmaking in this movie. Like, there's a scene where Ross, the killer dad, he like takes a left turn in the grass. He comes out from the right to the left and tackles the guy. And it's all done in one shot. It's really cool. And there's a scene where a bunch of grass monsters carry the pregnant woman, and it's really well done. But at a certain point, it's just like, okay, what is happening now? So the dad, not Ross, the other dad, the dad of the girl, the pregnant woman, is he basically sacrifices himself to let the other two get out of the field. It's a little contrived, but okay, it's a fine ending. Just talking about it, I realize how similar this is to Last Shift. They're both like movies that try and play around with what is real, but I much prefer In the Tall Grass to Last Shift, and I guess I'll explain why. Because In the Tall Grass, for one, it feels more sincere. Like, Last Shift just kind of felt like this is what you do in a horror movie, so I'm just gonna do it. Whereas In the Tall Grass legitimately feels like a personal expression, and like, which makes it feel more motivated and more personal, which I think is better than just feeling like we're doing a horror movie for the sake of it. And also the jump scares in this movie aren't laughably bad like in Last Shift. And I do think that having this very slow, very uneventful first half of the movie does kind of help, whether intentionally or not, it does kind of help the second half. You're so used to things not happening that when you get to the point where the dad, Ross, is like, everyone just touch this rock and be fucking crazy with me. At that point, you're like entranced because you're so used to the monotony, kind of. And it's like, that could be a really interesting thing to do in your film. But I don't feel like that was intended at all. Like, I feel like we were supposed to be genuinely intrigued in the little breadcrumbs that they're getting about the grass throughout the first half of the movie. Basically, I feel like the slower scenes could have been done better. I just don't care about these characters, and so the slow scenes aren't interesting. Like, if it didn't have the second half, would have been terrible. I would have hated it probably as much as Last Shift. And it's like only the second half kind of saves it. And it's not like something like The Sixth Sense or something with a plot twist where it's like you go back and rewatching it recontextualizes everything. It's just like, I just want to skip to the good stuff. The second half of the movie doesn't make me appreciate the first half anymore. It's just lopsided. It doesn't feel like these two sides complement each other at all. It just feels like we're having this is a bad movie, and now we're in an okay movie. And that's the thing too, is it like, I'm saying it's good, it's not great or anything, it's standard horror fare with the occasional weird, like, whoa, we're in a time loop. Okay.
The problem is, it doesn't feel like a good movie with a slow first half and a fast-paced second half. It feels like a bad movie for the first half and a good movie for the second half.
The problem is these characters. They're bland and forgettable. So yeah, I think that's gonna draw my thoughts to a close. I didn't mean to review two similar movies right back to back, but I figured why not. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Hit like, comment if you have something to say, I guess. Hit the bell, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.